Hi everyone. In this blog post, I want to talk about the 0.4.0 version of our community file. So as you check out the community file, you will see that it has 9,100 duplicates. That's probably a stat that I only care about, but I'm very happy with that. And if you go onto our profile, you will see that there are three plugins. There's the Obra shadcn UI tools, there's the spacing variable fixer, and there's the radius variable fixer. So going into the kit itself, let's find the file, go to community, and I'll just duplicate the latest version. And I'll just show you what that looks like. So let's make the user interface of Figma a little bit smaller. And if you download or duplicate this latest version of the kit and you go into the components page, you will find that there's a difference. There's now a collection called border radii and a collection called spacing. And those collections are applied to every layer. So let's try and find something with a rounded corner, like this, for example, this slot. We will see that it has a border radius that's tied to a variable. And also it has a spacing variable that's also tied to a variable. And what these plugins allow you to do is to scan for mistakes. So you can basically select the layers and you can scan and you can see that everything seems to be good here. That's how the kit was released, right? So we check that everything is good. Everything is already using a variable. And let's go on, and here, there's a problem. No matching variable found for 1 pixel. So there's a little layer here on the separator that is not using an official variable. And this is fine. Sometimes we will have a bit of inconsistencies. This is actually probably just a character in the browser or like an SVG. So it doesn't really matter that thing has an inconsistent border radius. But it's good to check. It's good to know. Let's say that a designer decides to put some illegal border radius. Like for example, here I would put a radius. Let's see if I can find the way that the radius is set, because it seems to be on the background here. Let's say that I put 7, right? We don't want that. We don't want that inconsistency. So if you do a border radius check, you scan the layers, it will find that 7. And then you can also change it to 8 as a start. But if you change it to 8, it's still not connected to the variable. So now it will find the match between 8 and the variable. And you can click this all button to connect it to the correct variable. And this, maybe if you saw it, there was also like an autofix. So let's make like a couple of mistakes at once, right? So let's say that I disconnect the variable from all of this, and I put it at like 7.33. So designers are gonna hate me now because like, what is that value, right? 7.33. So let's fix this with the plugin. So we scan the selected layer. We see that we have no match. At this point, you're supposed to know that, oh shit, 7, that should be 8. So you go in and you fix it. So you set 8, or you click here and you set 8. At that point, you're done. But what you could also have is that there's 8, but it's not connected to the variable. So let's scan again. So you see how it's disconnected from the variable. So in this case, you can click fix all, and it will apply all of the variables for you. Now, moving on, we have the same thing for spacing. So, for example, all these settings here, they have this kind of like setup with 64 pixels spacer. But let's change that to 48, for example. Well, I'm actually going to use the real value to demonstrate. Let's change this to like a non-attached variable, okay? So if we do that and we use Obra spacing fixer, so it's another plugin, and we run the scan, we will see that there are a few problems. There's a problem with the spacing. That's what we just did, and there's only one button to apply it. So we will apply, 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 apply. And then there's another problem, which is maybe more of a Figma technical problem, is that the button here, which is actually hidden. So let's go to that button. The button doesn't show the right spacing. We cannot show it here, but I'll just show this button here. And if we start to inspect the button, we will see that it has 36 pixels, but it uses an illegal spacing value inside of here. Now, it's my opinion that this is okay. Like, let's say that we have just any button. So just to make it more clear, we have a height here, and this height is based on paragraph small, and this is 14 pixels. The 14 pixels has 150 line height, 150%. So you see that the layer that this label creates actually creates a height, a certain height. Let's all detach it and see what height this gives. So I'm going to detach it. I'm even going to remove everything around the buttons. So if we just have this, we have a 21 pixel layer. So if we want to reach a font a size, a height of 36 pixels, we're going to need an odd number. There's no way around it, unless you're going to make like a new style, for example, and you're going to make this, for example, 160%, then it becomes 22. But now you also have a new problem, which is that your line height of your button, so I'm just going to use Shift Enter here, becomes too large. So I've had a discussion about this internally. You could technically like find a value that works for some buttons and the math will work out, but I don't really like adding like a separate button style. I like to keep it simple. But I'm curious, what do you think? Like, how would you solve this problem where here we have an illegal variable, and when we run our test, it will also actually say for many components that contain buttons, it will say, ooh, this is not a good variable, right? So if I run it here, it's going to be like complaining about 9.5. What do you think about my technique to use numbers with fractions, and how would you solve it? Anyway, this is the update. We're nearing the 1.0 release. So if you're curious about that release, you should check out our GitHub issue, and also the latest discussion about the theming. So I see that here I can actually already check this off because I did it and I released it. But there's a few more things to work on before we can release the final 1.0 version.